This is not a falcon, this is a hawk. One of the largest, one of the most common hawks in North America. Her name is Nikana. She is called a red-tailed hawk. And she is called a red-tail because of her tail, which really isn't red at all. It's kind of a rusty color. When the sun shines through it from a distance, it looks orange or light orange from the underside. See a red-tail out there, the first thing you notice is you're looking at a really large, wide-winged, blocky bird. A 4-foot wingspan for a big female, which is what she is. Notice she's very light underneath, except for these darker striped feathers across there called the belly band. And from a distance, it shows up as this wide horizontal band across her chest, and it's one of her other major field marks for identification. Besides the solid colored tail of the adult, it's so much for her plumage. Take a very close look at her feet, because that is where her power lies. And they have an enlarged picture of a red-tailed hawk foot up front. Her feet are huge for her size, her talons are curved, and they're sharp, and her foot is so strong, if she sticks it in my arm, I'm not strong enough to release her grip to remove her foot if she doesn't feel like letting go. She only weighs a little bit more than 3 pounds. You'd expect me to be able to wrestle the foot of a 3-pound bird from my arm. Can't do it. Can tell you from experience. I am also a falconer. A falconer is someone who can train, fly, and hunt with birds of prey. I lost my first falconry red-tailed hawk 4 years ago. She was 34 years old. When she was only 2, she took her left foot, she put it through my t-shirt into the flesh of my stomach, clamped down right there, didn't let go. I took 2 fingers, put it underneath her foot, gradually started to work her foot away. It worked fine. About 2 seconds. Hawk says, oh yeah, now try it. Crunch. And I'm wising up in a hurry. If I keep pulling on her foot, it would be like trying to remove a very large fish hook by just grabbing it and tearing it away, and knowing the right miles to do that. Might scream for your wife. It worked for me. And she saw what was happening and came into the room with one of these. And this is called a hood. And hoods were invented 2,000 years ago by Arab falconers in the Middle East and brought back to Europe during the Crusades of the Middle Ages. And it's not only a great invention if you're a falconer, it's a vital piece of equipment if you're a rehabber, because a hood slips over the head of a hawk or a falcon or an eagle, and it takes her eyesight away. And a hawk that cannot see, in captivity, much calmer, a lot less stressed. I get an injured red tail. She's got a broken wing. She's in a lot of pain. She's petrified of me. What am I going to do? Feel her wing, locate the fracture, hold her down on an x-ray table, take a couple of radiographs. Well, all this nightmare stuff is happening to the hawk. What she doesn't need is my face, a foot and a half in front of her, scaring her even more. You take that away, she becomes calmer. But the biology that explains it is simple, and that would be most of the sensory energy entering inside the brain of a hawk comes right through this one, right through her eyes. You shut off this source of information to her brain, you're effectively switching off half the brain's activity. So the brain becomes calmer and quieter, so does the hawk, and it's also dark. And behaviorally, what does she learn to do in the dark her entire life? At the very least, she becomes calm. She can't see well enough to fly. At the very most, she sleeps. How do hawks sleep? Hawks pull up a foot and go to sleep. And if it all works out for you, it might be the foot shoved in your stomach at the time.